Introducing the Diamond Factor Network, where we turn your business into a beacon of success. Imagine having your TV streaming show reaching audiences far and wide. It's possible with the Diamond Factor Network. Unlock the power of your brand with our state-of-the-art TV streaming platform. Your show, your way. Feature highlights, customized shows, global reach, and professional support. Coaching by Barbara J. Beckley, Purpose, Visibility, and Social Media Strategist. Ready to elevate your brand? Join the Diamond Factor Network today and let your brilliance light up the world. Shine bright because your success is our priority.
Concerning your career advancement in athletic administration. Do you feel your leadership is invisible or not your desired level? Knowing the right networks can help move you to the next level. Monique A.J. Smith is here to assist you. Empower you to your next level. We help leaders see their desired objectives through executive one-on-one coaching, group monthly mastermind virtual gatherings and training, in-person staff development training. Seeds of Empowered has provided staff retreats and workshops. See the future with possibilities and feel in control of your career and become a valued contributor to your leadership career. We'll get you to your career leadership advancement. Increase your possibilities. Contact Monique A.J. Smith today.
And although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big. And it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today. My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Beckley. How are you doing this morning?
Good. I love technology when it works, and I don't like it when it doesn't work. I'm just going to put that out there again.
We love it when it works, and we love it when it doesn't. Because the thing is, for the times that it doesn't, one of the things that I have really realized for myself is when something does not go right, and yesterday was one of those days. I had a couple of things that just didn't quite go the way I wanted them to. And I could have reacted a little bit more positively. So, lesson learned that, you know what? God has perfect timing.
Yeah.
And so everything will get done when it's supposed to be done. And even though right at that moment I was feeling slightly
kind of
off center, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
You know what? I did survive. And I'm here today and feeling good. So,
you know, when you said survivor, I was thinking that song, I will survive.
Exactly. Exactly. So this morning I put on my praise music and I put on my fun music. I just want to dance with somebody, you know, one of those.
Oh, yeah. That's
and yeah, you know, because we can choose in any, and this was like, how often do I say that? We can choose in any given moment how we are going to feel and be.
Yes.
Well, yesterday I let my frustrations choose for me. And I was like, you know, and just for those few minutes. And then it was like, oh, for heaven's sakes, Barbara, this will pass. This will come together. It will, you know, you will get all of this done. You know, one of those where, let's put it this way. I bit off a little bit more than I could chew. We never do that, right?
Yeah, we don't do that.
We don't do that. Anyway, so yes. So who are you this morning, Miss Barbara?
I am a reliable source in life. No, just kidding.
Exactly.
See, just like right now, I don't know what just happened here. So, anyway,
our backgrounds are they're different.
My name is Barbara J. Beckley.
Yes,
and what I do is I basically do my new tagline thing is lights, camera, action. And I use that because I want people to know that within your business, within your personal life, you know, you should always be showing up who you are. Yeah. People should know who you are with your gifts and talents that you bring. So I help people with that by giving them visibility on video, live TV like this, you know, helping them navigate. And I say navigate because a lot of people sometimes just don't know what to do when it comes to social media, don't know what to put on as content. And I help them. I help them create that story because it's just really a storytelling. Just storytelling, right? And then when I tell people, start with you, because you know you yourself more than anybody. Because people be like, well, I don't know what to say, I don't know what to do. I was like, you know you? Yeah. You live with yourself? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's start there. So that's what I do. That's what I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that's part of the reason why we get along so well.
Yes.
Because part of what I do is I'm a transformational life trainer, and part of what I do is I work with people to know their identity, their personal identity. Who are you within what you do?
Yes.
And so often people look at me and go, what? No, who are you within what you do? Yeah. Because who you are is not your job title or your job description or your role.
Yes.
You have an identity, a personal identity within who you are, who you are being, and who you are becoming. Well, then once you know that, then you go to Barbara Beckley to get it out there. Because we all have to do it to get it out there. This is where I came in. What, 4 years? 4 years ago, she came to me and she said, Barb, I'm seeing what you're doing about happiness. Mm-hmm. I said, well, yeah, I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. Yeah. So everything I do is about having personal happiness, having physical happiness, physical well-being, having financial stability. Those things all go into being happy.
Yes.
Well, okay, fine. Well, but how do you do that? So I said, well, let's get more visible. Let's get this movement out there. And so here we are 4 years later.
4 years later. I just want to I want to just take that in for like a good 30 seconds to let people know. And this, like Barbara said, this branches off with what she does with people within her whole health arena, and then people just feeling good about themselves and feeling happy. And then me coming in doing the visibility. We collaborated together, like Barbara said.
Yep.
We created this show together. 4 years. That's a long time. I'm talking about consistency now. Being on a regular basis. Now, sometimes we might do like a replay, or, sometimes we take a time off. Right. But I feel like within 4 years, Barbara, we have really showed up. And that's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Most of the years when we doing the show.
You've been here.
Because when you think about it, I'm going to multiply. Next time I want to have the number for us. Next Tuesday when we do how many shows we have within 4 years. That's going to blow your mind.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, that'll be very cool.
I have that thing.
And the thing is that consistency it's like after David died, one of the things that I remember doing was I binge watched all 10 years of Frasier. Frasier was on 10 years.
Wow. I didn't know that.
It was on 10 years as a show. Well, guess what? You can still see Frasier. It is still going on, and you can rewatch all 10 years of Frasier, depending on what streaming service you have.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, brother. So his 10 years of work has left a legacy.
Let's see.
And that is what I'm about. I want you and Barbara Beckley, part of what we do is we want people to leave a legacy and it's either a personal or for their family and it's not about being famous. That might come. We hope to. I mean, I think we're famous in our own right now, because people know us as the BBs. And it's like, oh yeah, you do that happiness show. Okay, yeah, great. That is awesome. However, it's the legacy of happiness that we want to leave. That's going to impact the world, has more and more of us. I was on a panel yesterday, and that's exactly part of what we were talking about. There are a couple of the people there were in Sweden. And we talked about that there are little patches of us, people like us who want happiness. We want joy to be the normal things in life, not all this dark stuff that's going on in the world. And there's patches of us here, and there's patches of us in Australia, and there's patches of us in Africa, and there's patches of us in China, and there's patches of us in Europe. And eventually all of us who bring this message of light and love, and especially with this being Love Week, we can do it. This is Love Week. So why not concentrate on being in love with, number one, yourself, not in an egotistical way, but just loving who you are. Who are you within what you do? Who are you? So that you can put that out there to the world, because you know what? You cannot give from an empty cup. If you don't know who you are, how's anybody else going to know you?
Yes. And like you said, Barbara, because this past Sunday, because I do another show called Let's Talk Fabulous, and you've been on it a few times.
I've been on that several times.
And our topic was, the topic was, what is love? Yeah. And I just put it out there. I said, what is love? And I had a few panelists come on, and they describe, what love was it? What love was this to them? And it was really motivating and inspirational to hear different takes on what people thought love is. But there was a common ground too, where they kept it where they kept saying anything what to talk about love, they said you have to love yourself first. All four panelists, they didn't know what they were going to say or anything, but they all wrapped it around that.
Exactly.
And I was like, that is so true, because they were like, if you don't love you first, how are you going to love others? How are you going, like you said, you're trying to make happiness a norm. How are you going to make love others, making people, have people happy if you're not happy and love yourself?
Then yourself.
Yeah,
exactly. It starts there. And so often I just don't like who I am. Well, then, okay, well, fine. Well, let's change that.
Yeah. Why don't you like who you are?
And the thing is, because I'm a personality science trainer and I'm a positive intelligence coach, Those things. Okay, let's get in touch with those negative voices that are in your head. We all have a voice in our head. And if something in your head is saying, well, I don't have a voice, well, that's your voice in your head. Every one of us has one. And the thing is, 85% of the things that, unless you train it to be positive, 85% of the things that you think every day will be negative. That's the default.
Yeah.
And we have to choose every morning to wake up and say, this is going to be a great day. And so to tell you the truth, this morning, it was like, this is going to be a great day. Yesterday wasn't so great. And Barbara, I forgive you for giving in to the frustration that happened. But I forgive you for doing that. It's over and it's gone with it. Now it is done. Today is going to be a great day. Yeah. Because I am going to move forward and look at look with fresh eyes of what I was doing yesterday. What did I need to learn from it?
Yes.
What did I learn from it? Well, I learned how not to do one thing. Don't do that. Won't do that. Well, that piece of technology didn't work for me, so we're not going to do that again. Rather than beating myself up for spending the time trying to figure it out, well, yeah, that didn't work. Done. And so now today. So this is Love Week. So let's talk about a couple of things that you can do to share love. Number 1, virtual love letter. And you know what? I want you to write a love letter. And Barbara, you have to commit to this because I have done this. You have to write a love letter to you. Barbara, I love you because. And write down all the things that you would want somebody to say about you, of why you are just absolutely the most beautiful, talented, skillful, loving person who you are, and write it to yourself in first person. Barbara, I am, you are, because you're writing it to you. Okay, so you have to commit to doing it. That's number 1. But then do it for somebody else. You have to do you first. You have to do you first. That's the condition. You must do you first. And it was really hard when I sat down and said, write a love letter to myself. Yeah. And I was sitting there with my fingers on because we're not taught to do that. No. And there was a couple of moments there where I started to cry. Oh. Because how can I say that to me? Well, of course you can say that to you. You can say that you're beautiful. You can say that you're loved, that you are gracious, and that you are whatever words you want to you would love to hear from someone else. Say to yourself. Mm-hmm. It is so cathartic. Yes. But even if it brings tears to your eyes, do it. Yeah. Because so often we think we don't deserve it. But we deserve love. And self-love is the highest form of, not in an egotistical way, absolutely not. Mm-hmm. However, in a genuine, loving way, because that's where we give out to others. Yes. So and just appreciate the things that you do. Appreciate the things that you're good at. We all have things that we're good at that we don't think about. Anyways. Yes. Number 2, this is where you commit. I thought this was very cool because social media shout outs. If you have a friend or a colleague or a partner and they have somehow touched your life, put it out there on social media and tag them. Yes. And tag them.
I love that. I'm already thinking about it. As soon as you said that, I know what I want to do now for the rest of this month. And if it continues on, I continue on. Maybe every other day I will do a shout out there to an individual that really has touched my life and shown some love. Yeah.
that they've done something that just like gave you an aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what I'm going to do today. I mean, I absolutely had an aha moment yesterday, and today I'm going to do the shout out because it was like, oh right, and sometimes you just like, oh right, and it's like, why didn't I think of that myself? Well, because you didn't know. And one of my favorite sayings is that you don't know what you don't know. Somebody else tells you something you don't know, and that's what it was. And it was just like, oh, that's my aha moment. And so that's what I'm going to share out because that person said it to me. And it was like, oh, yeah.
Wow.
So that's it. Do a shout out.
I like that. I like that one. Good. See, you gave me some things that I love that. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. And number 3, because then we're going to bring on Kristina. You're going to love Kristina. Do an acts of kindness.
Yes.
Do an acts of kindness. And encourage other people to do it too. So that's what encourage. Like that's what this show is about, bringing happiness. Okay, so right now I'm encouraging you to do an act of kindness, just a random act of kindness. Like one of the things that I used to do quite often was like, before the days of automatic tolls, when we had to go through a toll, when we had to pay tolls, it would be I would throw in the toll and I said, pay for the person behind me. And, just those little things, something like that, or buy somebody a McDonald's or, whatever. Yeah. But just a random act of kindness to someone you don't know.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, I used to do that too. Like I used to be like maybe in line in Dunkin' Donuts and I said,
pay for somebody behind me.
I just pay for the person and make sure. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong. And it doesn't, you pick. I mean, and like I said, I tell people, it doesn't take much to do that. It doesn't take much just to show a little check-in. I always talk about doing a check-in. I'm always about checking in with people.
Check-ins, right.
Just do a little check-in. Hey, I just wanted to say hi. Let you know that you light up the world because you're in it. I told somebody that yesterday. They were like, what? They said, I can't believe you told me that. I said, well, you are. We're put on this earth for a reason. We need to encourage each other and tell each other that we are lights for each other. Yeah. Right. Yeah. But one more thing before we bring on the queen.
Yes.
Queen Miss Kristina S. Shauntee. I want to, you talking about love. One other thing that was brought up, going back to the show that I did on Sunday with the love, what love is, and I forgot about this one. In fact, I'm glad that they brought it up about the love language, knowing a person's love language. And some people, this one of the panelists said, she said, it is not just about couples, like married couples or people are in a relationship, like in a loving relationship. It's about like your family member or your friend, any kind of relationship. You should know their love language.
Yes. Yeah.
Because
know your own. Know your own.
Know your own love language and then know the other person's love language. Yeah. And then you know how to, this goes back to what you do about, what you taught me a long time ago about the personality thing.
Right.
Same thing in a sense, but you know what their love language is. Like if you know a person likes gifts, little small gifts, then, if I see somebody, I might pick up something and say, and put it in a button, send it to you. And you'd be like, oh, who gave me this little gift? And that might be your love language. And, I just sent this because, you're my friend. I love you so much. And the first thing you'll say is, she knows me.
Right.
She knows what I like. Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. And know your own. Like with me, my love language is touch. Just and it doesn't have to be just come along and pat my back and just just kind of do one of these numbers. It's just to let you know that in passing.
Yeah.
Just, okay. And I will. So but when we know that.
Yes, well, we know a person. You're taking the time to get to know that person because you know they're important in your life and you want to know what makes them tick, so you can make sure that you're, appreciating them in that sense. I know my love language, I found out, is basically I just like to serve. I like the serving part of it. I was
make a difference.
Make a difference. And it's funny part. You'll get this, and then we'll bring the queen out. I was talking about, how some love languages people like, gifts, like I said, like they might like candy or they like flowers and stuff. So now I can say it, my ex-husband, he used to always buy me chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
in little, those heart chocolates and stuff,
Yeah.
and a whole bunch of chocolate in there. And I was like, okay, he does not understand, first of all, my love language at all. First of all, the gifts, yeah, whatever. I mean, I appreciate if people give me a gift, but it's not my love language. Second, Barbara, he didn't understand. He didn't think, and he couldn't comprehend. It seemed like, I'm allergic to chocolate. Why are you buying me chocolate? It's like, here you go. Now just, here, eat the chocolate so you can just bust out and just take Benadryl for the rest of the day.
Yes, I know. Exactly. So it just
really okay. So just to take all that little story to say, please understand the people in your life, so you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
So I just want to real quickly, and she's going to do her more introduction and who she's about. But Mrs. Queen Kristina S. Shauntee, I met her. Oh my God, it's been, I think, a year and a half, and she'll correct me when she gets on. But she's changed my life, because I met her in a networking type of atmosphere, like a year and a half ago. I think we're going on 2 years. And didn't know that just being in that atmosphere with this person for 3 days, it was a 3-day networking teaching thing. And it came to the point where I found out she's a copywriter, she's a chief communicator, she's, she has so many different titles she does. And she's also a pastor, her and her husband. And we was just talking like, just, hey, how you doing? But come to find out, when, she was a pastor and I was looking for a home at the time, it synced. And, now I've been part of the church for almost, a year and a half. And see, you never know. This goes back to, you never know when you meet somebody, how they're going to be, connected to your world, connected to your life. Just like me and Barbara, we met each other in a it's funny now, me and everybody networking, and now you become like really, so she's, you and her, everybody's in the network. So maybe that's telling everybody, maybe you need to go to more networks. You never know
networking. Exactly.
That's going to be important. So I want her to really, just tell us more about who she is, what she does for people in life. Me and Barbara adores her, and we're so happy to have her on the show. So we'll be right back after this little intro that was really supposed to be played earlier, but now I think technology is working now, and we'll be right back.
We love it.
Why is it not muting? There's no. Break this sound. There you go. Hello.
Hi, Kristina.
Hello.
And she's here. The queen is here.
Hi. Hey, ladies. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you loud and clear. Yes.
All right,
Yes.
all right, all right. It was wonderful listening to you, ladies. Barb, I'm going to write a love letter to myself.
Absolutely. And you know what? And one of the things I will say about that too is if it doesn't make you cry, you're not going deep enough.
Ooh,
Whoa.
You're not going deep enough.
that's
You have
powerful.
to absolutely love on yourself
Mhm.
because it's in those wells of love that you're going to be able to become that well of love for somebody else.
That's right. That's right. That's right. How can you pour out love to someone else if you're empty on loving yourself? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So do it
Yeah.
yourself. Yeah. Go
And
start with you.
it's funny because I know the days when I don't love myself, I don't really talk too much to people
Mhm.
because I don't want it, because I already feel like, okay, it's not fair for others to, whatever's dealing with. I really don't want to, because I don't want to put that out there. So I
Mhm.
know those days when I'm like, no. I need to sit back and really get that, fill myself back up with that, because I don't want to spread that around to other people, because that's, like you just said, Barbara, negative is so easy because it seems like that's our first thought process, which is really sad, isn't it? Isn't that
Mhm.
sad? Like you said, 90-some%. What was it? 90
Oh,
whatever.
85% of the thoughts we have, and we have like
Negative.
thousands, like I think it's like 60,000 thoughts a day.
Mm.
85% of them are negative
Isn't that
You know,
crazy?
and repetitive
you said
and
repetitive.
repetitive and
Repetitive over and over and over.
negative and repetitive. So one of the things, Barbara, on those days when you are feeling slightly more, a little bit negative towards yourself, that's when you get out your love letter again and read it.
Mm.
And when you were talking about the love letter, and even what you just said about the repetitive thoughts that we have in our minds about ourselves, when you said when you told Barbara she had to write the love letter to herself, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna write a love letter to myself. But then it hit me. First, do I understand and know how much God loves me?
Exactly.
When I understand how much He loves me, according to His word, and I stand on the scripture, Isaiah 43, verse 4, that God honors us and that He loves us. And then when I'm able to pour into myself how much God loves me, then I can receive that love. Then I can love myself. And then guess what? In turn, pour that out and love others. So you had my wheels turning in my brains at the beginning of this show. I love you, ladies. I mean, this show it's not just any old show. There is a takeaway. You're going to come away from this show changed. So I love Time to Shine, Happiness Show with the BBs, because y'all bringing it.
And the
You ladies
baby.
bringing it.
Well, thank you for the high praise. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Now we got to give it higher praise, and we got to let Mrs. Queen Kristina S. Shauntee, and I don't see that S in the middle, but anyway, I get on her about that. Put the S there. Tell us a little bit about you, lady, because I mean, you're just you're in my world, and I love you truly. And you met Barbara; she adores you too. But tell us some other things about what you do for the world. That's your lighthouse of the world.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you for just inviting me to be on the show. I love sharing space with you two. I think you two are just some phenomenal women. The energy, the unity, the love that just exudes from both of you. You two are a dynamic duo also. I've been meaning to tell you two that also. Y'all are like a powerhouse. So it is a blessing and an honor to be able to share this platform with you today. But who am I? I am Kristina S. Shauntee. I am a wife. I am a mother. I am a pastor. I'm a writer, soon to be host of a talk show. So I'm excited about that. I'm in a huge season of pivoting in my own personal life. I am a copywriter, but also mainly when I just said I'm in a season of pivoting, I am getting ready to turn 50 years old in a couple of months. So I am so excited about this year and what all God has for me. But literally, Barbara, you said something, Barb. You said something in the beginning of the show when you're trying to find who you are within yourself.
Within what you
And
do.
when you're in the midst of a pivot, when you're trying to find out who you are in the midst of a pivot, you're going in a different direction, but your mission, your vision, and your purpose remains the same. But at the same time, discovering the new you. So that's a season that I'm in right now, and I'm excited to be in this season. But I want to talk just a little bit about me as a copywriter, because I know, Barb, you said, Barbara, that the show was going to be about also why a person needs a copywriter in their life. First of all, I love writing. How did I didn't even stumble into the profession of writing. I love writing. I love to read, first of all. I love words. But a copywriter is a professional that's tasked with creating and writing content for your client. It's content primarily for advertising, for marketing, and even for promotional purposes. The main objective is to create a compelling and persuasive message that effectively communicates a brand's message, their product, their service to its target audience. So that's what a copywriter does, and that's who I am. Right now, I'm also in a season of pivoting into more freelance copywriting, so I'm excited about that. I have my own company, CFC Creatives, and I love words, and I love when I have the opportunity, and I'm blessed with the opportunity to work with a client, and I don't take that lightly, because a client comes with a vision, and a mission. And you as the copywriter, you as the writer, have now been entrusted. You catch that word? Entrusted to now bring words to the vision and the mission. Does that make sense? Right. And you've been entrusted to basically bring your client's voice to print. Bring their vision to print so all audiences and everyone can catch it and run. So I don't take it lightly, being a copywriter, just being a writer with anyone's life, because, and I say life because that's their purpose. People say brand all the time, and it's not just a brand, it's that person's purpose. It's what they were created in life to do. And yes, I am a pastor. I preach and teach from the pulpit with the fire of God, and I love it. But I also know God has called me to the marketplace, as a professional. And when God has entrusted me with someone's vision, Habakkuk 2 tells us to write the vision down, and then they will run with it. Make it plain. And so when my clients come to me, they come to me with their visions and their missions written down. And it's the responsibility of the copywriter to take that mission, to take that vision and run with it and bring life to it, speak life to it with the words. So as you can see, I love being a copywriter. I love being a writer. I do. And also I serve as a chief communicative officer for an elite marketing firm right now, and I love doing that. But as I said, I'm also in a very, very special season in my life where I'm pivoting. I've been married to my wonderful husband for 24 years. We have raised our beautiful sons together, who are now university students. And I have pastored a wonderful, I think the best church, Courageous Faith Church, with my husband, alongside my husband, for the past 10 years. We've been in ministry together for, oh my gracious, I think it's now 16 years. And God is pivoting me in a new direction. So I'm excited about what's to come.
Ooh. Yeah. Wow. Real quickly, I know Barbara wants to say some things, but I wanted to go back to what you said, Kristina, about taking a person, their vision, their mission, their purpose, and making sure it's written, like you said, in copyright written, that you're writing it out. So they're entrusting you to do that. Yes. And I think about with that, I think we all are part of that. Like we're like a little team here when you say that, because you take that, you know how to put it in words. I take it and I do it in video for people. Barbara takes it in the help part of it and stuff. And she's right. Okay, you need to make sure that your vision. So we're all three of us really to make sure that that client, that person that we're in their lives, putting out there, their vision, their mission so people can understand who they are. And you know what? When you were doing the scripture about, we need to write the vision down. I think a lot of people need to understand the other part where it says, make it plain.
Plain. Yes.
A lot of times I can read people's information. I'm telling you, this is true.
Yes.
I read the whole thing and do 2 or 3 paragraphs, and I'm like, okay, again, what do you?
But what do they actually do?
And that's why it's important to have a copywriter, because then the writer comes in and they make it plain for you. For your audience.
Exactly. Like one of the things that I caution on so often with my clients and stuff is that don't speak jargon.
Yes.
If somebody listening on the outside, if they can't, it's like with me when I listen to my sons when they talk computers. Oh, brother, it's a foreign language. It really is. It's a foreign language. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. Sure. What does that mean when I press my button here on my computer? Bring it down to that level. And so often I find that when somebody does their own thing, they know their own stuff so well. But if somebody else doesn't know what they do, it's a foreign language and they're not hearing it. So how can you possibly attract somebody if they don't know what you do?
Well, they could get confused on what you're trying to say.
Confused on what they don't understand what you're saying.
And a confused mind doesn't, pay attention. A confused mind is tired, as they say. So you're putting all this lovely stuff sometime, and people like, well, okay, Barbara, what do you do? Just tell me, why you got all this fluff in there? What is it? What do you do for people? And I'm like, oops. And that's a real true story. That has happened to me. And I had to, massage that. What
does that mean?
Sitting right here, and she had to rewrite some things. She even told me, I will never forget, we had a session where I was in a magazine and I sent her my article. And I said, okay, do your magic. That's what I told her. I said, do your magic, because I'm not good in that area. She is. That's another thing. Get people in your life that are good, their expertise, and they're expert in it, and let them help you out. So she helped me out. She came back, and it was funny because she's so sweet. She's like, okay, I changed a few little things. So hopefully that was okay. And I'm like, if you need to rip it up, put it back. Because I know that I don't know how to do copyright that well. And it was so nice because she changed it where to the point it made more sense. It all combined together. It flowed. And I was like, that's it. So,
and what it was your essence. It was bringing your essence to the paper. And that's the thing about, and I apologize for just jumping in when you said that. You was like, it was all flowing, and it has to be that cadence. It has to be the essence of who your client is. We're in a time where there's Chat GPT, there's AI. And the thing about those generated writing and wording services is that they do not touch the essence, do not reach down and bring forth the essence of that human being. The thing about with my clients is I have to take the time to get to know them.
Right.
I have to do research. I have to know their language and specific words that they would use and what they would not use. But most importantly, I'm going to be very honest with you, ladies, I pray. I pray first with all of my clients. And you know what my prayer is? My prayer is, I told you, God, I'm a pastor, but he also has brought me into the marketplace, and I take him everywhere. And my prayer is, Lord, what is the voice that you have for them that you want the world to hear? God, you show me, you tell me who their essence and who their nature is. Let me see them the way you see them. And I always pray that before I even meet my clients one-on-one. Because I am catching who God says they are and what their purpose is. Because every time that I know someone reads something that I've written for a client or for, even if it's for advertising or a product, I know and I want them to be able to experience God through that writing and through that person, because I've been entrusted by him to write for them. So that's where that comes from, Barbara, where you talk about that flow, catching the essence, the nature, the character of your client, and then bringing voice and giving word to it.
And I think one of the things for me too is really getting in touch with, is this really you?
Yes.
clients, is this really you? Or are you trying to compare yourself to someone else?
Ooh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yes. Yes.
And I can remember one of my guys it was like, well, why do you do that? Well, because I've always done it and because my dad did.
Mm.
Well, if you had a magic wand right now, what would you be doing if you weren't doing this, what you're doing? And he was like a deer in headlights.
Wow.
But then all of a sudden he said, well, you know what? As a kid, I always thought I would want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I said to him, I said, well, okay, so now what can we do in the next 2 weeks to move you one baby step towards that? Oh, he came back. He was like a changed man.
Oh, wow.
It was like I had given him permission to dream again. And that's where I think when you can get back to that essence.
Yes.
That is such a good word, Kristina. Get back to their essence of who they are, not what they're trying to be because somebody else tells them they're supposed to be.
That's right.
Who is their essence? What is their essence?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
It was
powerful when you get to that. When
you get to that, and it's powerful what Kristina said. Like you said, the essence.
Yes.
Now this is the funny part too. Going back to her looking at my magazine article.
Yeah.
She even put somewhere. She's like, "You don't say that."
That part.
That was like too funny when I put something in there that I probably knew I didn't say, but I put it in because I thought it sounded whatever. And
It sounded right.
She said, "This is not Barbara J. Beckley. You do not say this."
Yeah. And I did. I said, Barbara, this is not you. You do not use that word. And that's the thing. And why I asked you, Barbara, I was like, okay, so what is the show about? And you said, why do brands need copywriters? And that part right there, to catch the true nature and essence of the client. Because guess what? You'll have all this stuff in print. And then when you go to do an interview, and you start talking, and the words that are coming out of your mouth on that live interview is not matching up on that article or that website or anything else that describes you. That's why it's important to get that copywriter that spends time with the client, that gets to know the client, and then breathes and brings forth that client's personality through whatever that print is. Yes. And that was it, Barbara. I'm so glad you said that because I was going to mention that, but I'll let you mention that one. Yes.
And it's absolutely
funny. It was funny. I was like, wow, that just proves you that she knows me so well to the point where I was trying to put whatever.
Exactly.
And she
even we think it sounds good because when so and so said that sounded good. Yeah, but it's not something that we would say.
That's not you. Yeah, you don't say that, Barbara. She said it. She said, she said, what is this? You don't say
yeah, I was like, Barbara, what is that? And that's the key thing. When I spend time with my clients, I catch keywords or words that they repeat all the time, words that they say all the time. I do work with high end executives and high profile clients. I do have to sign NDAs with a lot of my clients. So I do hours and hours and sometimes weeks of research while I'll watch their interviews. I'll have them in my head. I'll be listening to them. I'll hear them. I catch key phrases, key words that they say on all the platforms that they're in, because that's what you have to do. You have to catch your client's true and authentic voice. Because if you don't, what you will create is a bunch of creative clutter. Ooh. And that's not good.
Ooh. Yeah, just you said that word is like, ugh. It's clutter, yeah. You don't want to be on this clutter in your
And I also want to say this about working with clients, and when we are responsible, and we've been giving the beautiful blessing to work, and that's all of us. That's what all of us do. All three of us work in the area of branding and marketing, and all that great stuff. But the thing about it that we always want to keep in mind is don't take it for granted. Right. Don't look at your clients as cash cows. I know I just was blunt on what I just said because that's not what it's about. Because at the end of the day, we have to answer to God. Were we good stewards with this client? Was we good stewards with the visions and the purposes and the plans that you had for their lives, and you entrusted us to be good stewards in whatever roles that we played in that person's career. We have to answer back to God. So everything that we do, we have to do it in excellency unto the Lord. And I want to mention something. Most of the time, when my clients first meet me, they don't even know that I'm a pastor. They don't usually find out until later on. But I don't come in as Pastor Kristina because I shouldn't have to say that. It should be the heart of God that exudes out of each and every one of us and everything that we're called to do. Because the thing about it, all of us has a pulpit. Your pulpit could be the branding part. Your pulpit can be doing the graphics. Your pulpit could be doing the coaching. But whatever it is, do it with honor unto the Lord and do it in excellency. Whatever you do it in excellency. Meet deadlines, time, dates that you're supposed to meet it with your clients. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
We went to a big pause right there.
I know that was like, I said, okay. See, sometimes you just got to
you just got to take it in. You got to take it in because that's how I met Barbara. I met Barbara at a professional setting. It had to do with speaking and everything else, and did not say anything about it. Was not a church setting, no nothing. And when you carry the light of God and the glory of God, it's going to shine and it's going to attract people. And that's our whole purpose as believers: is are we winning? Are we fishermen? Are we fishers of men for Christ in all of our professions?
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah. Like I always say, just going back, like you said, of talking about God in your life, I always tell Kristina, one thing that I put together is the fruits of the Spirit. I have it in front of me all the time because that's how first of all, I want to make sure I'm doing that. And then second, when I meet people, do I see that in others?
Right.
And that's when you know their fruit. That's when you know they're true, what they feel. Are they self-control? Are they patient? Are they loving? Are they, all that. And if there's a whole bunch of, like you said, what you said earlier, Kristina, about, clutter, it's like, okay, we need to pray for you. And I tell people, hey, if I'm cluttered, pray for me. It goes both ways.
Yeah.
Or that's like with me, when I run into somebody who's trying to be somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they've always done that.
That's it, Barb.
And so, and like for myself, I mean, I realized that I spent so much of my life living in somebody else's framework. And and it's not that it was a bad framework. It just wasn't my framework. I came from a loving, supportive family, but it just was not my framework.
Right.
That I needed to grow and flourish. And so many people say that, oh yeah, you've really changed. It's not that I've changed, it's I've come into my own.
Come on, that's that part. Yes.
That is what is come in, be your authentic self. Like I've been doing some research lately on what are people looking for in the marketplace. And the number one thing is people who are authentically them.
That's it.
Yeah. Be authentically you. If you mess up, fess up. Mess up. If you mess up, fess up, take the heat, and then go on. Be authentically you.
Yes.
I love, you're so, and people will appreciate that more. I always tell people when I'm talking to them about, putting themselves out there and being visible, they were like, well, I don't know what to say. How should I do this? How should I do that? I said, no, you just do you. I always tell them that. And I'd be really into them. I say, you do you. Don't do me. Don't do Oprah. Don't do anybody else. You do you. Because people will resonate with you that needs to resonate. And then you feel better in yourself because you're doing you. And if you make a mistake, that's life. We all make mistakes.
Right. I'll have to tell you one little funny story when you mentioned the AI. You know what? And AI is a tool. I do use it for little things.
I do too.
But one day, one of the gals that I was talking to, she said, oh, let's do it in the style of Russell Brunson.
Oh, wow.
I went, why would you want to talk in the style of Russell Brunson?
I know.
You are not Russell Brunson. That style.
Oh,
no, stop doing that.
Yes.
Be who you are. Because exactly, Kristina, what you said before, when you are putting something out in print and then you're doing something live, they're going to know that that print was not you.
That was not you.
It
Yes.
wasn't you. Don't do that. Do you. That's so,
Yeah. I like that. Do you. I love that,
do you.
Barbara.
Do you?
Because we know us ourselves. Well, and then learn to be who we are.
Yes.
And that's where that's the work that I do. Let's get in touch with who that, because you're not your job. You're not your job title. You are not all your roles. Because that's what happened with me. I was not, just because I was a wife and a mother and a daughter and a divorce failure, and then I was and now I was a widow. Well, who was Barbara in all of that? Well, guess what? I had to find out. I had to find out. But who has God meant for us to be? We have to find out, and that sometimes we need help to do that.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
Sometimes we need help to do that, and because so often we get stuck in our past.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happened to me. Okay, fine, yeah, and that's part of what made you who you are now. But who do you want to be? Who do you want to be in 5 years? Who do you want to be next week?
Yeah.
Who do you want to be next week?
Yeah.
Who you want to be tomorrow?
Who you want to be in the next second?
Who do you want to be this afternoon? When you have to face somebody that you don't necessarily get along with. Well, who do you want to be in that situation?
That's yeah.
I'm glad you just said that. And what you just said about who do you want to be, I'm having a conversation with someone, and I said, as I'm pivoting in this new season of life, and I said, I am excited to discover the next best version of Kristina. Exactly. I am ready to discover the next best version of me. Right. And just back to what you just said, who are you?
Who are you? And that's like with me, with Wellness Playroom. My tagline for Wellness Playroom: for the best version of you. What does that mean to you? What's your best version? And that can change. And that can change as we grow and as we mature and as heaven forbid we say the word age, as we age. We are not getting older. We are getting better.
Yes.
We're getting wiser. Yes.
Exactly. We are getting wiser.
Well, a song popped in my head when you said we're getting wiser. I know I heard there's a song. It was playing in my ear saying you get wiser, better. I forgot.
Yes, there is a song like that. What is it?
It's played in my head as soon as Christine said that. Now I got to go back to this before because our time, and I want Christine to say any lasting thoughts, but I got to go back to what you said, Barbara, because it wouldn't be right for me not to say this. You mentioned divorce failure. That wasn't a failure. That was my old label.
Yeah. That was the old label that I had put on myself.
Yeah.
And that's where you have to get rid of. That's one of the things that I help people work with. Let's get rid of those old labels.
Yeah.
That was a label that I had put on myself and what it meant in my life. Oh, for heaven's sakes, Barbara, get rid of it.
Yeah, because it wasn't. I look at it because I just got divorced recently, and I don't look at it as a fate. I used to now, like you said.
But you used to. We used to.
Yeah, but it moves you to the next level in your life. And I said, now this is a jump to do the new version of me. So that's what you have to look at it as. Yeah,
exactly. So, exactly. Thank you for bringing that out more. Yes. And that's absolutely the truth. I had to get over that.
Yeah.
What had I meant what had I meant? All those labels, what had they made me believe about me? Well,
always start with us, like we've been saying.
We have to go back to who we are.
Yeah. So Miss Christine, I know with the time, we got to bring you back. See, this is all that's about.
Yes. I got to come back and talk about the pivoting point, ladies.
Yeah, exactly.
You family. You got to come back. So Chris, just really quickly, just like in 30 seconds, can you and then we'll bring you on to talk more about the show that's coming up for you. Just give us just a little 30 seconds on, the reason why you said your mission, what you want from that.
Okay. From the show Pivoting Point.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, ma'am. The Pivoting Point will provide a platform for insightful conversations, inspiring stories, valuable insights into the moments that shape our lives and contribute to, guess what? to the personal and the collective development of who we are in that season of our lives. So that's what Pivoting Point is about. It's from pivots to peaks. It's about sculpting change one pivotal moment at a time. And I'm excited about it coming April the 3rd of 2024. Yes.
That
Well,
is so
congratulations.
cool. So needed.
So needed, yes. So needed. Barbara, we can't end until you tell your...
Yes. Let's make happiness the norm rather than the exception, because each and every one of us deserves to lead a happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant life. That's what, in fact, I heard it on my scripture this morning again. Jesus came that we might have life and have it in abundance.
Yes.
We deserve it.
See, now that's
today.
That nothing else. All I'm going to say is we'll see you next Tuesday.
See you next time.
Love on yourself. It's love week.
Everybody.
Bye. Love you, ladies. Bye.